Well, good evening and welcome to another exciting night of racing here at SuperCars NZ. We're bringing you round 6 of the Allports Motorsport Championship V8 Series, Div Pro, or Div 1s as we call them, racing here tonight at Silverstone. This is the broadcasting lounge being looked after by Napa Auto Parts. This is Doug, and in the broadcasting lounge this evening is Corey. How are we?
Yeah, Dougie. Yeah, good to be here. Tuesdays roll around so quickly these days.
They do, and especially when you've got things like these awesome events scheduled on the calendar to appear for.
Yeah, and we've made our way to the English Midlands, northwest of London, in the middle of the British motorsports industry,
We
to a
have.
beautiful place where the home of the British Grand Prix, I believe.
It's looking pretty good out there, as we've got a nice aerial shot looking down at a fantastic Silverstone circuit there.
Yeah, so somebody's even mowed lines in the grass down there, eh?
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe there was a bit of Aaron Goodrick's good work. I hear he's pretty handy behind the lawnmower.
Oh wow, yeah, well, if it could be indeed, that's so yeah, some pretty slick lines down there, and yeah, we're in for a good night. We're looking to have about 25 cars on track, and so they're just in their warm-up phase at the moment.
Yep, we had a pretty exciting qualifying, some close times and familiar names up there at the top as always. We'll be able to bring up those results very soon with what our grid's looking like tonight.
Yeah, well, so the track tonight, so it's 5.8 kilometre for this configuration, which is the Grand Prix arena layout. So yeah, it's the newest iRacing scan of the track, and also clear weather, and so that's always going to be good. Get those tyres warm in these V8s, and they should be a good bit of fun, I reckon.
We're certainly looking that way indeed. A little bit of grey there on the background in the sky. I mean, that's probably pretty indicative of UK weather, but with the V8s we won't see any rainfall during their race, although it'd be pretty interesting to see those big mighty V8s struggle for grip as much as they do anyway, battling around a wet track.
Yeah, hey, let's make it harder. Hey.
That's it. As we all have a wee chuckle to ourselves, are the ones who are familiar with how hard it is enough trying to get one of these cars around a track in the dry. How bonkers that thought of adding some puddles to the track and trying to do the same thing would be.
Yeah, no, it's a no for me.
That's a no from me in the dry anyway.
Yeah, I struggle enough in the dry, so yeah, you put me in the wet. And it looks like that's rounding up. I've got Stefan in my ear having a little bit of a yarn to the drivers.
Nice. Oh, there we go. We're looking at the grid there for tonight. We've got Darren Loboff first with Richie Stanaway there in second. Bruce Tannock third with Leon in fourth. Trent Bennett fifth spot over Sean McNamara in sixth. Then comes Dane Noduft in seventh with Roger Forbert in eight. We've got Nick Mitchell and Eamon Young rounding up our top 10.
At Peter Vanderberg in 11th, Chris Zupasich, Taylor Mitchell, Nico Cordier, Jason Cossey, Scott McKenzie, Derek Lovegrove, 8th and 17th, Dion DeGraff in 18th. Dan Nolan, so he's moved into the Jigsaw team, I see. He's got a new paint on, and he's in 19th. Tony Lynch in 20th. Steve Darren in 21st. Shane McLeod, 22nd. And that's about it. There's race control. It looks like Stefan might be rocking off the back of the grid. Yep, I see him there. And we're away. Great start from Darren Lobb. He's got right up there. A good start from Bruce as well, who's managed to round up Richie Stanaway straight off the bat.
Wow, and Bruce moving through into second spot there also. Everyone's still pointed forward, which is always a nice sight to see.
I was trying to find a way to say that without jinxing it so that we had a big pile up.
Did you say pile up?
It's pile up.
Pile up. Pile up?
No, it's
No,
looking
we're
pretty
still
good. Everybody's sort of settling into a single file. Some people are anyway. Get the knack of this turny, windy track.
It certainly is, yeah, and we will be able to have a look at that shortly with just how intense this rather flat track is. Not a great deal of elevation changes through this one.
Yeah, mixture of camber and off-camber corners.
Correct, and just technically challenging. Some corners are luring you into thinking you can go through it a bit faster, and you get drawn out wide, and others thinking that you can go through a bit slower. Next minute you've got cars just barreling past you. So, yeah, certainly a racetrack with a mixture of challenges.
The Gen 2 Supercar 2, not a car known for its great downforce, so it'd be a track that you would want some downforce at, I'd imagine.
So everyone's doing a awesome job of getting through this first lap.
I could have sworn we were watching...
Pretty unscathed.
Yeah, I could have sworn we were watching Div 2, to be fair.
There you go. So on our leader there, Darren Lobb, and he's already nearly got a second gap over Bruce Tannock in second spot.
Yeah, just under a second faster in his last lap than Bruce in second, and also Richie in third as well. Leon a little bit further off the pace there in fourth, but hanging in there. We got somebody running wide there, one of the Misfits boys.
Yeah, so back from
we've got Tony Lynch and looks like Dan Nolan having a bit of a dust up there.
Oh, and also look like one of the other MRX boys having a bit of a moment. I've got some data there of Dan Nolan going off track, and apparently Steve Darren crashing out. Also see Evan Young there over in the on the grass. Got Roger Forbert, looked like he was trying to size up Nick Mitchell. We'll just have a quick wee squiz and see how these battles are shaping up, and then we'll have a look back at some of that some of those incidents that just happened a second ago.
Yeah, there's a few battles going on throughout the field, so they're not really spread out by too much at the moment, sort of roughly around 40 seconds difference.
Taylor making the pass on Dane Nodirth there.
Nodirth?
Yep. Nico and Dion having some fun.
Yeah, Darren showing that, you know, just because you've got a Logitech wheel, you can still be up with the fast boys.
That's it. And at the pointy end of the field, that gap from Richie to Bruce is closing down.
Yeah, and Lob with a 2:02 in his last lap, so he's already getting the pace on there pretty quickly.
Just having a wee look on board here with Richie Stanaway as he gets into the draft with Bruce. Hearing those tyres getting worked. I love what was oversteer became corrective steering for the same angle of the of the track there. That was quite slick. That wouldn't have happened for me. It would have been the old drying the dishes with the tea towel around in circular motions.
If you do end up watching this back, Richie, I reckon you should chuck that livery on that you had from Taupo. I bet somebody's already got that in trading paints.
That was very cool indeed.
It
yeah.
was.
And
I
if
loved it.
anyone wants to have a hum to Richie and get him to point them in the right direction for that trading paint file on that one, certainly be worthwhile a look into.
Yeah, no, it's very cool paint job with a lot of Kiwiana all over it. And if you didn't see the video of Richie and Matt Payne talking about it, you'd tell that Richie in front of the camera acting is at a strong point.
No, don't give up your day job, eh?
Yeah, keep being fast in a supercar land.
Great bit of side-by-side battle happening between these two. Keeping it pretty clean at the moment. It's allowed Leon to get a little bit closer to them here. Well, the gap margin of just over 1.5 seconds is now down to just under half a second. These two battling pretty hard and also defensively. Maybe Bruce was aware of that. As
Yeah, the lobby lapping 1.5 seconds quicker than these boys at the moment, so his gap is opening up now.
yeah, well, when you've got no one else around you to battle, stretching your legs is about the only thing you can do.
Yeah, take advantage of that, and of course there is a compulsory pit stop. Everybody's going to stop for 4 tyres. It can't be under safety car, and you also want to be looking out for any off tracks around here too. I hear that's something that people will be looking out for, so you don't want to get too many incidents, otherwise you'll be taking a tour down a very long pit lane.
It is a very long one, and it's about the only part of the track that it shows any significant elevation change.
Yeah, on the exit. Oh yeah. Example with Taylor Mitchell when he's in a battle with Roger Forbert and
his old man just in front of him.
His old man, Dad, yeah.
Yeah. So there's Rog. He's the meat between the Mitchell sandwich. Which is quite ironic, seeing the festive foods livery.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something. Taylor down the inside.
Yeah, does the meat bite back? Not this time.
No, Taylor's on the hunt to take on Dad now.
He is. He's all sauced up. He's going for the top crust. I hope you're enjoying them just as much as I am.
Oh, got a couple of comments on the...
anyone else at home enjoying the humour?
A couple of comments on there. So Steve, Shane. No, there's Shane Fitty.
Yep.
I've seen enough rain this week, he said.
I bet you he felt a few drops as well.
Scotty NZ, evening all. Yep, that's
there, Scotty.
He every now and then pops in and has a race. And Scotty's having a night off. Or Pix Productions. Doesn't like the track. Fair enough.
Yeah. Scotty, let us know who you were thinking might have been an off track that you just had a look there, and I'll be able to
That'll be Taylor Mitchell one, I'm guessing. He went down the inside there, Roger back there a little bit, and he was off the track.
Be able to have a bit of a lookie. Dion not having a very good couple of laps so far. We've got some replays here of him going off the track twice in quick succession. Apologies. Yeah, that's a moment. That's a big moment.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a motor moment. Look, Mum, I'm a choo-choo train. Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah, well, he better get a fast repair and get himself back out there, hopefully.
Yeah, and Steve Darren, we've got him at the moment, lightweight Commodore. This is his crash on lap 2. So just getting into a bit of a pickle there with Stefan Adams closing down on the nose a wee bit. Nothing malicious in that one, but certainly probably not what Steve needed. And this was Eamon Young's moment, having a wee bit of a 2-2 off track as well. So just a bit of a slow assist around by Nico Cordia on that one.
Yeah, of course, live race control tonight too. So anybody has any issues, they'll be calling out on the old mic, getting our resident race control for the V8, Stefan McCartan. A bit of a call up, give him some work to do. I haven't seen anything from him yet to say anybody's had a drive through.
And here's the younger of the Mitchells making a big move on Dad, firing it down the inside and then parking it up on the late apex. Dad giving the rear bumper just the softest of tickles behind the ear, saying could have sent you for a mile after that, but didn't. Carried on racing.
Yeah, 15 incident points and you get a drive-through. So there's only one person fairly close to that, and that's Dion. So he'll be trying to keep his nose clean. Still in pit lane, he's been on the jack, so he must be towing, I think. So it's been 1:25.
Yeah, it's currently parked for just at 1:05 now. So what do we got happening here? Bruce now getting pretty close to being the subject of Leon looking at making a potential pass on him as well, getting very close to that rear bumper. Bruce just fallen off a wee bit, maybe trying to stay with Richie's pace. So Richie now out to 1.9 of a second ahead of Bruce, and that's what that looks like there. So you can see the colorations of white are obviously exceed of a second timing. Anything under that comes up in yellow until it hits about half a second gap. It rolls through to a lovely orange, and I think anything under 1/100th of a second becomes red. That's what we look out for when we're seeing who's got the close battles taking place and where the passes may be happening.
Sorry, I got myself a little bit distracted there. We're back at Silverstone, on the nose of a Jigsaw Holden. Well, inside now with Leon Ware. He's tracking along alright, just sort of keeping his nose out of trouble. He's far enough away from Mr. Plough to not have to worry too much.
Yes, the other Jigsaw driver, Mr. Plough, Sean McNamara.
Got a few marks on that car, may have been some ploughing.
Yep. So he's back there in fifth spot, and he's got Taylor Mitchell closing in on him.
Yeah, commonly heard saying Rubbing's racing.
Is that from Taylor or Sean?
With Sean, probably, more likely. But she's managed to pull that gap in a little bit up to Lobby up the front. Definitely pulling away from these two. Now they've got locked into a wee bit of a battle, or Leon trying to get in Bruce's mirrors, let him know he's there.
Yeah, certainly closing in again, just under draft.
Yeah, to take a lot of concentration to go for 25 laps around here. You know, it's just over 2 minutes a lap, so that's 50 minutes, I guess, isn't it? And some.
Yeah, it is, and it's pretty awesome to see, the fast guys at the front, 203s, and really not too much pace difference between the top 5. Then the next grouping outside of that all got pretty realistically the same sort of timings, high 204s. That pretty much drops down to about the top, just outside the top 10, and then that starts branching into the 205s. So.
Yeah, and that lasts right through to, almost 18th and 19th.
Correct.
Running a little bit slower at the moment, but, there's a heap of them there just running in those 205s and reasonably still close to each other. So, that can be won and lost in the pits, definitely. Everybody's got to take those 4 tyres, and everybody's got to avoid getting a drive-through for their incidents as well.
Roger Forbert getting it done there on Nick Mitchell. Similar place as to where Taylor got Nick not too many laps ago. Maybe Nick's car a bit more set up for getting around through the twisty turnies fast, and just balancing that top speed. Some of those other cars are a bit more slicked out, rear spoiler, cut through the air a bit faster. Just helping them in the draft, being able to get on by.
Shane has piped up, said he can't see the lap counter at the moment. Yeah, we're just guessing, Shane. We're just guessing.
Thanks, Shane. There it is for you there. I hope you've seen it.
I hope he's seen it too. He's probably still hung over from.
It's gone now.
From Taupo.
I got rid of it.
Like a magician.
Don't ask me to do nothing, Shane.
And yeah, Scotty probably was a Days of Thunder quote. Good movie there.
Was indeed. No, there we go. I'll keep that up there. It certainly helps out. Lap 9 of 25.
Yeah. So we're on lap 9, Doug.
That's it. Lap 9. So Shane McLeod has gone through the pit lane, looking like possibly officially one of the first to have taken a stop, and that was 32 seconds worth of pit stop time. So unsure as to what exactly may have happened there, but he has not stuck around, so they've actually parked that one in the garage, and the same with Dion. So both those guys out for tonight. Steve Darren still limping around a very hurt looking Holden. Leon coming into the pits here now, lap 10 of 25, flashing away there. So he'll probably give us a very good first insight as to what kind of pit stop times we may expect to see from the rest. So Sean's going to carry on by. Taylor now pretty well getting glued to the rear end of that car.
Getting the job done.
Missed that.
he made short work of that. Has he gone a little bit wide there?
He did. Oh, and here's Macatap for the rub.
Hey, there's a good battle going on between Dan Nolan and Tony Lynch, and that's for 18th and 19th. They have been going at it for a couple of laps now.
So yeah, you can see here Tony just filling the mirrors on Dan's car.
He's had another look.
Oh, just bagged it up. Saw that opposite lock correction flicking in there. I'm interested to know why Scott Pickering isn't a big fan of this track. Is it his own dealings with the track from racing on it in the simulated world, or has he had some favoured Formula One drivers in the past not go well? Did a TAB bet fall over? Just sort of keen to hear from the man.
Yeah, what's your trauma with Silverstone? Anyone else got any trauma with Silverstone? Let us know.
At the moment, Tony's got a lot of trauma with Silverstone. That battle with Dan has walked away from him. He's got the old left-right flicks happening constantly and overcooking it into the corner, just carrying a bit too much speed and braking out the other side is not the way you want to be trying to control that. See that change there now of what was 0.8 of a second is now 1.3. So he's just letting that one falling away from him a bit there, Tony, and the Diesel D Services Mustang. But Dan is chasing down another Diesel D Services vehicle of Evan Young there. So.
And a message from race control, there's been no call-ins so far, a lot of self-spins and net codes, so no penalties to give out. Nice quiet night for Stefan.
Yep. That's nice. It was good feedback from race control on that one. Jason Cossey just going through, he's completed his compulsory pit stop for the night. That's the third Diesel D Services vehicle out and about. He's dropped back to 19th spot there. He was sitting a bit more closer to mid-pack and had a pretty quick pit stop time there of 8.83 seconds. Leon's one previously that we were inquiring about, 10.32. So I don't think we'll be far away from seeing a few more drivers coming in.
Yeah, so Leon though, with 10 seconds on the up on the jack, so he hasn't taken a lot of fuel, so he must be backing himself to fuel safe. But he's come out in 11th. Yes. So any of those front runners, he's going to be looking to make up any time, but he's been caught up in a little bit of traffic there too, so that's going to slow you down a little.
Yeah, so with Leon out there at the moment, he's just cleared a couple and is now getting back into the groove. He'll be pacing pretty well on those fresh tyres. But yeah, I was having a look back at this one here. Taylor hasn't really escaped Sean's potential clutches there too much, and if anything, I believe the gap between these two and Roger Forbert has come down as well. Taylor, I think, have a bit of a slowdown.
Yeah, it could have been there, yeah. But yeah, no surprises on this track. So we've had another 3 cars from the top 10 have dropped into the pits now. So Dane Nodroft, Trent Bennett, and Peter Vanderberg all coming into the pits, take their pit stop.
Yep.
Eamon Young and Dan Nolan also in the pit lane as well. So
pretty busy in there at the minute. This is Trent with Dane leaving just ahead of him.
Well, that's the order those 3 came in, so no gains there. They'll just be on track if they make any, with a couple of digital Bogans cars there, mixing in with the misfits on their pit exit.
Look at that. I love how there's no love loss between teammates, that they're all ready and willing to get on and race one another. It's always been a favourite of mine to see.
Trent didn't muck around coming out of the pits there with those 2 cars were already out there lapping, so he's got out there and cleared them, and
he has his
Peter Vanderberg as well.
He has his boogied away from that, so Leah let the Diesel D boys fight it out, and Pete's managed to get clear by them now. See Chris Upsich there, the Passion Sim Racing Commodore. He's got Scott McKenzie all over him. Keep it tidy going through that section of S's. Get on the brakes early and turn it in nice and tight here. He's done a good job of that, keeping it pretty close. Chris getting a mega drive out of that corner. Right, so at the front, Richie Stanaway into the pits, Sean McNamara into the pits, Roger Forbert into the pits, and Taylor Mitchell into the pits. Good call by Taylor to follow those guys through, lap 13 of 25. Yeah, Taylor looked like he had a unfortunate run-in with the slowdown there. So coming in and stopping behind these guys, being able
Stand away
to
with
close down that
9
margin.
seconds. Yeah, stand away with 9 seconds up on the jack, so he's out there, back out on track already.
Oh, look how tight that is again. Action shot leaving pit lane. Taylor keen on it, wanting to get the pass done early. I think he'd done the respectful thing and he's given that one back to Rog. It was a wee bit eager.
Yeah, eager on cold tyres can end up in tears. That's to Sean McNamara's advantage, to a little bit of a gap there now for him to sort of be good with for probably another half a lap before he's going to have this young man back on his tail.
Yep. Indeed. So Taylor managing just to get it to stick now, just ahead of Roger. Sean just managing to keep that gap margin away. Just over a second there now. Bruce Tannock rolling in for his pit stop. Fastest pit stop out of everyone in that was Taylor Mitchell. 6.38 of a second, whereas everyone else down in 8.9s. That's very quick.
I've got him at 9.48. Discrepancies in data, I know. Bruce Tannock and Nick Mitchell done their pit stop now as well. Nick's still up on the jacks there. So just Darren Lopp to go. We know Daz goes long. He likes to use every drop of that BP98 that we let them use over here.
Milks it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he must have a knack for, he's been around long enough to figure out some good fuel saving techniques, I bet.
Very much so. So yeah, Darren doing a great job so far. It's a bit hard to reflect on that margin there to Richie being 22 seconds up. He certainly was up, if not by 3 or 4 seconds previously, but now with the whole rest of the field outside of Darren and Steve, who's circulating around the end of the pack, left to do their pit stop. We'll be very keen to see what happens to that margin for Darren and Richie once he comes in to serve his pit stop. Will we see it this time round?
Yeah, well, everybody has been through the pit, so that generally means that he probably doesn't have a whole lot of fuel left, so I'd bet that he's probably going to come in this lap. That's the other pit. The other pits here, so they're not using those pits today.
No.
Yeah, so there's a couple of guys that are sort of getting into double digits with their incidents, but yeah, really nothing really to write home about yet. We're over halfway, so yeah, it's lap 15 of 25, so 10 laps to go. It'll be good for Darren. He's going to get in there, get his pit stop done, and get out there with fresher tyres than everybody else as well. So as long as he can maintain his gap. With everybody's average sort of lap times, you sort of, just as a rough look at it, sort of we could say it's sort of 43 seconds to go through pit lane. So with a 46 second gap, or is it 22 second gap back to Richie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so might be fairly close, I reckon.
The thing that I find impressive with Darren is that that time deficit has still been just ever so slowly climbing away from Richie. Not much, just slightly. It proves that he can still get out there and cut some very, very fast laps on the car setup that he's got at the moment. So pit lane entry over there to the right, and he's still not taking that one just yet. Lap 15 of 25, about to become lap 16.
Yeah, so currently Richie's actually lapping quicker than Darren. Not by much, but just about 3/4 of a second roughly.
So you're just looking at Darren's last lap, a 203.7 versus Richie's 203 flat.
Yeah, it's really close to 3/4 of a second, I reckon.
Yeah, pretty close, too. Very cool to see these two still glued together. Leon just not able to do enough to be able to round in that gap anymore. Just looking at the comments there, so Scott Pickering was able to answer that question about why he's not a big fan of the track. He just said he's never raced that track much overall. He believes it's worse in iRacing because it's a track where the track limits play a big part in your lap time. And I'd say to a certain extent he's right there. The punishment for going over the bounds of the lines, like here, picking up an off track or getting a slowdown penalty, can be quite severe. The good thing is that everyone racing on the iRacing platform has to abide by the same rules, so no one car can have an advantage over another on it. They're all, I suppose, limited to doing the same thing. But Scott had followed up with a second comment that he said, if you are willing to sacrifice an incident point in the right place to gain an advantage, big gains can be made, and that's exactly that's bang on the money as well. So a lot of those corners where if you don't get penalised overall with a slowdown, but you can pick up an incident point here or there, would certainly carry an extra 15 to 20 kilometres an hour versus someone trying to adhere to staying within the white lines. And yeah, that could be the difference between picking up that extra half a second, closing in the car in front of you, and putting it under pressure through some of these tighter corners into thinking you're going to dive up the inside, faking them into giving it away to you. Tricks of the trade.
While we're on the bonnet of a Jigsaw car, weekly sponsor, Doug.
They are indeed. Jigsaw Projects Limited from Steve Darren, and you've got a wee bit of an insight into the Jigsaw Projects Limited business here.
Yeah, so Steve's been in the fit-out business since 2009, so fairly experienced. So they've expertise in high-end fit-outs and have a knack for bringing building projects to life. All your construction needs, from luxurious and extravagant fit-outs to your budget-friendly office transformation. So Jigsaw Projects cater for every style and budget.
That's it. And they've got 4 of those cars out there in the field tonight. So you've got Leon in 4th, Sean McNamara, who we're currently on there in 5th. Dan Nolan, who's up 3 spots, P16, their new one to the Jigsaw Projects sponsorship there, team branding. And then of course Steve Darren, the man, the myth, the legend, the one behind it all, He's pretty handy with the jigsaw.
Yeah, he's bashed up his car twice tonight by the looks of it. Oh, he hasn't been through the pits yet.
No, he hasn't. He's
He is going long.
just out there circulating away. This man's come in there, lap 18 of 25, and coming out just in front of Richie Stanaway by 1 second.
Yeah, so Richie with warm tyres, his advantage is gonna slip away pretty quickly. But if he wants to get it done, he's gonna have to get up there and get it done fairly quick. Otherwise, Daz is gonna put that gap back out there.
Yep, get that boogie on. Just like Taylor is here, getting very close to Sean McNamara there now.
Yeah, so I was going to say, Sean's going to put up a bit of a fight there. He's managed to keep himself in front of Taylor.
It was good racing by Taylor there. So he made the move, he had the look, and he was respectful enough not to go and lean on the side of Sean's car. So he gave him a wee bit of race room, so that compromised his exit speed a wee bit, and that allowed Sean to push on back through and back in front. Sean not being overly aggressive with defending where he's at. A little bit of covering here and there, but I think overall, if someone's willing to make a good, nice, clean pass, it'll happen.
Yeah, the key word being nice, clean pass.
Yep.
That's what we're all hoping for. So Nico Cordier and Steve Barron,
tight in there.
both on 14 incidents. So one more incident for either of those two, and they're going to be taking a tour of pit lane. And of course, that won't help Steve out. He hasn't been down pit lane yet, so to have to do it for a drive-through, and not really going to help him if he's got a need to pit.
Wow, that closing speed is rapid by Taylor down through that straightaway where he made that all-important pass earlier on his dad. So he is being held up a little bit by Sean. Here,
Yep, Sean will be
down on that accelerator a wee bit.
Sean will be fair, you know. He'll go around racing if Taylor can get past. He'll let him pass.
Correct. I can really hear Taylor's tyres working very hard for what he's asking them to do, and I think another lap of him doing that will have the potential costing that he's not going to be able to keep up with those lap times.
Yeah, well, those three cars behind have just been sitting back waiting, and they've all been fairly close together as well, with Nick Mitchell, Roger Forbert, and Dane Northdrift.
They, as you can see, how much they were invited into closing that gap between these two here as they were battling away. Taylor, I think, now just dialing it back just a touch. Not much, but just a touch, because as I said, he was working pretty hard on those tyres, so that's why we've got Sean pretty close to him still at the moment. Like that close.
Fastest pit stop of the day I've got on my data is Jason Cossey, 8.7 seconds up on the jack, and his going through pit lane. He's the only guy to get under 40 seconds with the 39.7. And he's made up 3 spots, and he's up into 12th, so he's not far off getting into the top 10.
That was close. Yeah, Jason Cossey can confirm outside of that odd one which I had for Taylor Mitchell. I think it's probably a wee bit of a glitch on the timing there. But yeah, Jason Cossey 8.83 on for me on the timer. And yeah, absolutely humming along at the moment. Diesel D Services car, 12th spot, up 3 from where he started.
Your biggest gainer of the night was on screen here, Taylor Mitchell, so he's up 8 spots. So that's your biggest gainer. No massive gainers like we've been seeing recently.
No, I think it just proves just how consistent the cars are really lapping around the track. People are hitting those markers the same as what they do from their qualifying times, and that respective order pretty much remains unchanged. So if you look at the top 4 there, they've remained unchanged in their positions. Taylor's obviously the anomaly. He's up 8 spots, so he's obviously not been able to qualify as well as what some of his lap times he's able to put out can be. And then there's the occasional up 2, down 2 throughout the rest of the field.
Yeah, 5 laps to go too, so everyone's done their pit stop apart from Steve. So I'm not sure if he's going to be any worried anybody where he is, but this battle continues between Roger Forbert and Dane Northrup.
And inside the top 10 there, so just behind him, Trent Bennett, the other Misfits race entry there. He's our 10th spot. They're currently down 5, so if you can see here, there's some of the numbers that reflect the ups and downs for this evening. So yeah, Trent down 5, Dane down 2, Nick Mitchell there in 7th spot, MRX entry, he's up 2 there, and then his son who's sitting there in the 5th spot, up 8. So yeah, certainly the one who's made the most boogies up the field versus the man who's made the most moves down the field, currently Eamon Young.
It just had flash up on me timing screen, Darren Lobb with the 2:02.57, so that's fastest lap of the race, and a 1.5 faster than Richie Stanaway at this point. It's pretty good going. He's definitely opened up a fairly decent gap already.
Yeah, so that's the fastest lap of the race, and best lap for Darren, a 2:02.57.
And yet, top 4, no change in their starting positions, so they're all how they lined up to start the night. So that's a credit to their qualifying pace and their race pace, all pretty in their positions.
Yep. Great racing there once again by Darren. There's Steve finally coming through the pit lane, hopefully to stop and get a fresh bit of car and some tyres.
Well, actually, just while we're talking about it, so 6 out of the top 10 are in the position they started. So that's a bit of, you don't see that too often. And a couple in the top 10 that have gained, and then a couple in the top 10 that have lost some positions. I love stats.
Indeed, yeah, me too. So Darren Lobb leading the field currently over Richie Stanaway, who's 7 seconds adrift from him. Back from Richie we have Bruce Tannock, who's now been able to shake Leon a little bit loose. He's 8 seconds behind Richie, and then Leon following up in 4th spot, 2.5 seconds behind Brucey there. These guys have been monumentally fast all race. We look from Leon, it drops back 17 seconds. To Taylor Mitchell there. 3 laps to go, and still has Sean McNamara in a position where he could get by before the end.
Not giving up.
Certainly not. This is a man who's won championships before. Sean's certainly not been one to be known to give up. Most things in life, he keeps at it until he has what he wants.
Always right.
Always right. Nick Mitchell, a couple of seconds back from Sean there, spot number 7, up 2 from where he started. Roger Forbert, again, similar gap margin from him to Nick is what Sean is to Taylor, so there's the potential that a couple of positions could change in the dying stages here. And Dane just sitting there, close enough. If anything were to open up, he could slot himself in and get involved. Trent Bennett 1.2 seconds back from Dane to him. And yeah, probably a wee bit disappointed as qualifying time was able to put him up on spot number 5, but he's sitting back down there in 10th at the minute. Still just staying with the group, but yeah, probably just a little bit disappointed with where he is at the minute.
Yeah, shout out to all those mums and dads out there that have had their kids for the school holidays too. It's tough work, isn't it, Doug?
I've been working through, Corey.
Well, it's tough, Doug. It's tough.
No, it's been good. I've had some good days off in the last week at least, doing the things with the kiddies where I can, and it's been most enjoyable. But yes, big shout out to the ones who have taken the whole 2 weeks off and listened to
I reckon
begging and pleading for snacks relentlessly.
If anybody's looking at getting any mums anything for Mother's Day, I bet you there's something at Allports that'd be good for a mum, you reckon, Doug?
Yeah, probably.
Into sim racing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Chitty could probably help them out with some noise cancelling headphones.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
Get Mum the most comfortable seat in the house, thanks to Sparko.
Yeah, well, there you go. You definitely could tuck some legs on that, put it at the end of the table for Mum.
Look at this. 1 lap to go. People get eager.
Yeah, they seem to have straightened each other out.
See there on the comments here, Scott has got some good insight and mostly ones that are agreed upon and reflected opinions of iRacing unit users. You said that would be good if that when the pit limiter gets switched on, that the car should lock it in that gear and only change down. As there's a wee bit of a glitchy cheat where you can tap up and down between the gears, and it gives you a wee boost of about 2 kilometres an hour, or between 1 and 2, and it's usually just enough where you can be sitting just on the threshold of going over the pit speed limit, but not enough for you to be penalised. So it's a wee tool that people can utilise if they're really feeling that they need to. And the other one he would like to change about iRacing would be for it to be able to differentiate the difference between off-track penalties from collision penalties, and work out a way so for a collision the incident points would only go to the person who caused it. Yep, I can totally agree on that, and also one that I've found quite annoying in the past is you obviously don't want to be involved in an incident where you collide into another car, but then if you drive your car off the track to avoid said penalty, you still get penalised for going off the track, and sometimes you can even suffer a slowdown. So the cars that you've just avoided, damaging and including your own car, can often be to the detriment of you, because you have to then slow down and let those ones that have lost control and crashed out to go on by. Which,
I just caught a glimpse of the wee flag man waving his wee white flag too, so he's almost time to wrap it up. But lobby just half a lap to go.
yep.
Trucks in the parking lot there.
Yeah. All the fans have come out tonight.
And he's almost a second quicker than Richie Stanaway that last lap around too. Well, actually, yeah, just over a second.
Just over a second, yeah.
And the only car to go into the
versus a
202s tonight.
204.7, so...
Yeah, and the only car to go into the 202s this evening.
Yep. And not by way of having drafted off anyone to get there as well. Did it on his own merit.
Yeah, nothing like a lights to flag victory.
So
and put it on pole.
Couple more corners to go, and I find it amazing how when Darren came out, there was only a second gap back to Richie Stanaway, and he's gone with pretty much that last 10 laps of racing, put a 10-second gap on the field. Amazing stuff. Well done, Daz. Richie Stanaway across the line, P2. Thank you for joining us this evening. Bruce Tannock, third spot, just going past Steve Darren, who was out of sync. Fourth spot goes to Leon Weir. Awesome bit of stuff there. Still a few corners away. Taylor Mitchell, Sean McNamara, still relatively close behind. Taylor doing well, 8 spots up the field, finishing 5th. Sean in 6th. Nick across the line, holding on to 7th. Roger Forbett there in 8th. Dane finishing there in 9th spot with Trent Bennett. Happy enough with 10th spot. Getting some sandbags happening.
Yeah, someone's got to light it up. Those Misfits boys and Team West boys normally get it done. I don't see any Team West boys in here. Oh, they'll be in split too, some of those Team West boys, wouldn't they?
Yeah, indeed. Peter Vanderberg there in 11th over Jason Cossey in 12th. Scott McKenzie finishing up 13. Chris Uppersich 14 there. Derek Lovegrove doing some doughies around his teammate there in P15. Dan Nolan, welcome to Jigsaw Racing. Up 3 into 16 there. Evan Young finished down 7 in spot 17. Nico Cordia dragging it out. P18, happy enough for tonight. And Stefan Adams from the rear of the field, up 7 spots, coming across the line. P19. Steve Darren being the last car across in P20, with Tony Lynch finishing down there, spot 21th. So there we go. Great fun evening of racing once again, thanks to Allports Motorsport looking after our V8 series. A few boys down there sending some smoke signals to the heavens. Tomorrow night we have our Wednesday 2-for-1 racing happening thanks to MRP, and we're going to Lebanon, Kowi track, Pro Mazdas and Ford Legends, 34 Legends out there attacking the track, so that'll be quite interesting. That one's a track with heavy amounts of ups and downs, so pretty cool.
Pro Mazdas servers will be up at 7 and Legends at 8.
That's it. And then on Thursday night, our next stream night and Anzac Day of 1, we have the MRP HPR series, the GTPs versus the GT3s and everything else in between. Heat racing, Long Beach, so that'll be a nice one to tune in for and check out.
Yeah, definitely will be. Long Beach, multi-class. It's just screaming out. It'll be a little bit of drama.
We can only assume. At least qualifying for Thursday night is done in a solo fashion. I think all those cars trying to work their way around each other. With an open qualifying session will result in a number of cars in the wall. So yeah, so it should be a couple of interesting races taking place with the heats on that one. But
There's two
yeah,
heat races.
it is 2 heat races.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. And where are the V8s next week?
And then the V8s again coming back around to full circle a week later. We'll be heading to Red Bull Ring. That'll be a, a very cool track to tune in on, and one that I'm very excited to see how the excuse me, how the Jigsaw boys go when there, because that one is a bit of a hot favourite for both Leon and Sean, having good racing results through there.
Oh, well, as always, thank you very much to Allports for supporting the Broadcasting Lounge. Sorry, SuperCars NZ and the V8s. And thank you to Napa for supporting the Broadcasting Lounge. And of course, thank you very much to Jigsaw Projects, our weekly sponsor, for all your office fit outs, whether it's large or small, extravagant or not. Get in touch with Steve and the crew at Jigsaw Projects. You can find them in the yellow pages under Jigsaw Puzzles. And yeah, that's another Tuesday night done and dusted for the V8.
Wow, there we go. And thank you, Corey, for joining me here. It's been a pleasure again doing alongside you. Look forward to the next one that we have. And for the folks at home that tuned in this evening, it was a pleasure. And we will do it all again later on. Catch ya.